Choose life and live. Buy original. Be original. SON.
We will support the Standards Organization of Nigeria to check illegal trade deals aimed at distributing substandard and fake products in Africa, following President Muhammadu Buhari's signing of the Africa Continent Free Trade Agreement, manufacturers in the country declared. As the SON sensitization spreads to other parts of the country, with more Nigerians benefiting from the noble initiative championed by the Director General of the agency. Welcome to the world of quality and standard education on television, brought to you on this station at this time every Monday. The program is Standard and You, a public enlightenment initiative of the SON. Please accept the best wishes of the Director General, management and staff of the SON as you enjoy the program. My name is Ifoma Okonkwo. I'll be back shortly.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigerian SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards aimed at improving the exports of the nation's food and cash crops. This explains why we have developed more standards for Nigeria's produce like sesame, cocoa, garri, and more, courtesy our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turnaround time for SUNCAP and MANCAP to reduce substandard products and legal arm to prosecute offenders. Join the Standards Organization of Nigeria in ridding our nation of substandard goods due to consistent market surveillance and raids. See something, say something. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Nigerian manufacturers have demonstrated their support for the Standards Organization of Nigeria in its war against substandard and fake products in the country. President of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mansour Ahmed, gave this assurance in a meeting between officials of the SON led by its Director General and the association in Lagos.
It's no longer news that local manufacturers have had to contend with the prevalence of substandard products. What is news is that these producers of goods have continued to evolve strategies to deal with the menace and boost their capacities in this regard. Partnering a responsive government agency like the Standards Organization of Nigeria is a strategic synergy that will translate to effective monitoring of goods within the country and Africa. The whole idea of this partnership is to check illegal trade deals that may arise from Nigeria's recent signing of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Nigeria, for quite a while, had been in the forefront of ensuring that our laboratories are not only well set up, but they are internationally accredited. What this portends is that every product that is tested from an accredited facility will be acceptable anywhere in the world, not just in Africa. Those are preparations, for the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which had started long ago. So this harmonization of standards, harmonization of conformity assessment procedures are all part of the preparations. Just like Nigeria has a National Metrology Institute, Benin, Côte d'Ivoire do not have to set up the same because they can use the facility. They can then put their effort and their resources in something else. So those are some of the preparations that we've been making over many years for, encouraging the free movement of goods and services, in Africa.
We now have a basis where we understand the objective and requirements of Standards Organization of Nigeria with regards to ensuring continuous improvement of quality of products, not just being manufactured in Nigeria, but also being imported. Because it's this that ensures for us a market in which we can compete effectively. We have had for too long problems of substandard goods being imported into the country, which do a lot of harm to our economy, but specifically more to our operations in the manufacturing sector. I think with this kind of collaboration and cooperation between the regulator and the industry, I believe that the possibility of reducing this kind of importation of substandard goods will be reduced to a minimum.
President of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Engineer Mansur Ahmed, said the agreement opened lots of opportunities for the Nigerian economy. He stated that it also comes with threats and challenges where some unscrupulous businessmen will bring in substandard products.
Among these are the possibility of other people bringing goods that are substandard, not necessarily into our country directly, but into our neighbors, and then bringing them as part of the Made in Africa goods. And I believe that this creates a new demand for the Standard Organization of Nigeria and other regulators to scale up their activity to ensure that this doesn't happen. Because now we are not only going to have to protect the interests of the Nigerian manufacturer, but indeed we have to protect the interests of the African manufacturer. So indeed, I believe that this puts new challenges for SUN and the other regulators and requires even greater cooperation and collaboration with the other stakeholders such as MAN. And I believe that this is what the DG has highlighted, the organization is working on now, and we will certainly support any effort in this regard.
The president of MAN urged the federal government to empower the Standards Organization of Nigeria to build competent workforce, technology, and institutional capacity to succeed in its fight against substandard goods.
The situation that has led to SUN being asked to leave the port in the past obviously was a situation that existed at the time. This was talking about 2011. Since then, a lot has happened. Both within the port environment, but also within SUN itself. SUN has built capacity. They have incorporated new technology in their work. And also the requirement and the challenges in the ports have increased, as we all know. And particularly, as we just said now, with this new African free trade, continental free trade agreement, there will be even more challenges of that will be facing SUN. So I can understand why SUN would like government to reconsider the idea of their presence in the port. And I think it is something that we should discuss. We have discussed it with the DG. We have agreed that we will look at, we will create an opportunity to discuss this in a wider forum where more of our members who will be affected will be there, so that we can identify issues that will need to be addressed even as the organization is brought back to the border points.
The SON, he noted, should work with stakeholders to develop more capacity and technology, especially at the various points of entry to check dumping in Nigeria. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Aboloma Esquire, assured manufacturers and other stakeholders of the SON's determination to promote standardization in Nigeria. He said the SON has developed a robust quality infrastructure. He disclosed that plans are underway by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria to sign comprehensive memorandum of understanding with the Standards Organization of Nigeria.
Is to safeguard the local manufacturers in Nigeria for accelerated industrial development. Over the years, we've had a robust relationship with them in terms of guiding them in complying to quality. Like every other organized sector, there are bound to be bad eggs where people take advantage of loopholes in the system by importing finished products instead of raw materials or machineries that will have an understanding to give concession to local manufacturers. Yes, but the number of people complying are more than the numbers of those that don't comply.
He said the MOU will enable both parties work extensively and also address issues confronting the manufacturing sector on a continuous basis. Director General of the SON, Osita Aboloma, said, going forward, any importer who abuses the import permit given to manufacturers to import raw materials and machinery for local production would face the wrath of the law.
Import permit is different from some conformity assessments that is more rigorous, that will give to people that are bringing in finished products into Nigeria. So it is illegal when you have permit to bring in machineries or permit to bring in raw materials. If you bring in finished products, it becomes illegal, whether it's substandard or of quality, that the person will be answerable to us in his personal capacity. He will no longer be sheltered under the concession given to man, because illegality is illegality, irrespective of the form in which it comes in.
You're watching Standard and You. Nigerians, especially importers of goods into the country, have been advised to ensure quality and stop exposing consumers to dangers of substandard products. This was the thrust of the sensitization organized by the SON in Abuja, Kano, and Gombe states.
This capacity-building initiative, embarked upon by the Standards Organization of Nigeria in the last 6 months, is a strategic approach to tackling the menace of substandard and fake products in the country. It's a nationwide exercise that has and continues to afford Nigerians the opportunity to learn more about various products they consume and the activities of the SON, all aimed at ensuring the ease of doing business in Nigeria. The focus of this forum in Abuja was to understand how the SON's activities are being carried out at the borders and ports. Officials of the SON took time to explain SON's activities at the ports and efforts at checking the importation of substandard and fake products into Nigeria.
This is particularly achieved through the monitoring of conformance of regulated products, whether imported or local, that we are exporting, to the applicable standards and mandatory conformity assessment programs. This in compliant trade also subjects international categorization of customs, regulations, and standards in relation to the tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade. This portal, or what we call the Nigerian Integrated Custom Information System, ICIS, is a portal that makes it easy for an importer, for example, into this country, to go into that particular platform or window, show all the documents that support what you are importing, make your payments, and it's an electronic system, so you don't need physical contact with anybody that may demand anything outside of what has been stipulated. So it makes the trade easier. It makes it easier for people to get their products into this country seamlessly.
A similar exercise on the same subject was held in Kano, where participants were empowered with basic information on how SON operates at the borders and ports. Representative of the Director General of the agency at the forum frowned at the activities of some unscrupulous businessmen who engage in the importation of substandard products into Nigeria. The agency wants importers to acquaint themselves with the various standards available at SON's office and stop flooding the markets in Nigeria with substandard products. Laboratory services and its benefits to Nigerians was the focus of a sensitization held in Abuja by the SON. The SON has developed critical quality infrastructure to ascertain the quality of goods imported and produced locally. Representatives of the SON told participants that the agency presently has laboratory equipped with modern state-of-the-art technology to conduct quality tests on thousands of products. The sensitization continues.
Automation of our processes started about 2 years ago to improve our services, our reach, and accessibility, so that we'll be able to reduce human interface as much as possible in order to reduce rent-seeking or what you call corruption or bribe.
The Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards. Choose life and
Standards Organization of Nigeria has approved for review a new set of products for certification and validation. This was at a meeting by the agency's Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program Committee on Product Certification in Lagos. Director, Product Certification Directorate, Teso Oguduwem, gives an insight to the focus of the meeting.
Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program of Standard Organization of Nigeria is a certification program that is carried out by SON to ensure that our goods are there and making it to the international market as well. And this is done by SON to ensure that, particularly now that we have signed the Free Continental Trade Zone Agreement, it becomes eminent that our products should be at par with any other products coming from anywhere in the world. From time to time, companies present their products for review against the Nigerian Industrial Standards for certification, and due to and in line with international criteria of standardization and certification, the management sits to look at the submissions, review that the submissions and the work done behind the scene are in line with the respective standards, and to approve such product to be certified in line with the relevant standard. Hence, at this meeting, the 6 sections of MANCAP under the Product Certification Department present almost 600 and something products for certification. As is a human activity, not all of them were certified, because some of them did not meet criteria, and we have to step them down to review. So altogether, about 500 out of the ones submitted were certified, and the companies will soon be issued with their certificate.
Hello, and nice to have you on the feedback segment of the program. I am Halimot Osifo. Every day, Nigerians buy and use thousands of products at home, work, and on the go. Consumers expect that these goods will satisfy their needs. But did you know? Consumer satisfaction and protection is a collective responsibility. It demands input from not just the manufacturer, importer, and government, but also you, the consumer. Producing safe and quality products is one of the manufacturer's responsibility to consumers. The importer has a responsibility to ensure foreign products conform with standards. For the Standards Organization of Nigeria, our primary responsibility is to ensure that locally manufactured products in Nigeria give the required satisfaction to consumers through compliance with standards and ensure goods imported into the country meet the minimum requirements of Nigerian industrial standards. What about you, the consumer? Do you know your rights? Do you verify expiry dates before purchasing? Do you read content of goods warranty card before purchasing? Do you check for product certification marks? Do you read and follow safety instructions? Do you use products appropriately? Do you speak up by reporting cases of fake and substandard products to the Standards Organization of Nigeria? If your answers to these questions are positive, good for you. Otherwise, you are neglecting your consumer responsibility. No doubt, all hands must be on deck to fight against fake and substandard products in Nigeria. you have a role to play. For any question, complaints, or suggestion, you can send in your messages with your full name and location to the number 07059724455. Tag along with us on Facebook at Standard and You, Instagram and Twitter at StandardandYou_. Remember, you can watch previous episodes online at youtube.com/StandardandYou. Don't just view, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks and enjoy the rest of the week.
Why you dey buy fake product, Make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live.
Buy original.
You should know.